But I'll never forget that first time. Like that was like, I think the first time I ever felt like I really disappointed her.
Yeah.
Because they took me to Tempe jail, and they told my mom if she didn't come and pick me up from jail, she would be charged with like child neglect.
Welcome to another episode of the Powerless to Powerful Recovery podcast. My name's Jason. I'm an alcoholic. As always, our mission is to share experience, strength, and hope across multiple media platforms. The story of addiction and the road to recovery. We are not affiliated with Alcoholics Anonymous or any other 12-step based organizations or groups in any way. But we are back, and my co-host is here, Ron. Ronnie, no matter what. What's up, Ron?
Here we go.
Oh, brother, we're back.
Go.
It's been a Christmas holiday.
Man.
I mean, the blessings. They just keep on raining down, and the blessing we have today on the show, brother, this is a special occasion.
Yeah.
It's not often. You know, we've had a lot of CEOs. We've had pretty much everyone in the state, but we're starting to get national coverage here, brother.
Uh-oh.
We got a national brand. We got Alex Aiken's here with
Kind of like
Legacy.
that case you caught.
Oh, yeah, like that. But Alex Aiken is here from Legacy Healing Centers, a business development rep that's placed out here in Arizona. They're a national brand, like I said. They're in Jersey, they're in Ohio, they're in Massachusetts, they're in California. They do all different levels of care. We have the ability now to create some synergy with them. We have them on the show because most importantly of all that, you don't get to be where he's at, working for a national brand, business development rep, Legacy Healing Centers. Make sure I say the name multiple times because I don't want to get confused with the other one because there is one. But I'm talking about the real one. Legacy Healing Centers is here. Let's go.
Centers.
But massive member of the 12-step community. And Ron, he likes his recovery just like we do. Uncut, the big book, the real style. You know, so shout out Alex, dude.
Appreciate
Welcome
it.
to the
Thank
show,
you guys.
my bro.
Thank you for having me.
Man, dude. And it's crazy because it feels like, you know, I've seen you at a bunch of business development events, and then we had the opportunity with shout out Adam and shout out my producer, Matt, dude. I don't shout him out enough. I've shouted out everyone known to mankind but my producer, Matt. Shout out to him. But I was talking to Adam and I was like, dude, I like your energy. I like your vibe. I feel like I know you because I've seen you all around and, you know, we have that heart and we have that passion, dude. And it shines through without even speaking to you. So to have you on the show today, you're a member of the recovery community, you know, and that's what I really want to talk about, you know, first though, is Legacy. So tell me about Legacy, you know. It's not like, what do you guys do? How do they find you? You know, because this podcast is in 30 different countries. We're all over. We want to help people who are sick and suffering, mental health, substance abuse. They reach out all the time from the show. So talk about Legacy before we get into you. Talk about what you do and the whole thing about it.
Sure. Yeah, man. So I'll start with myself, right? I do business development, and it is exactly what it sounds like. So what that means is I go around the community. I meet with people like Adam. I meet with other facilities. Outside of that, of course, there's doctors, therapists, psych providers, everything you can think of, right? Because the idea is we don't want to leave anybody untreated, right? Unfortunately, we, at least myself personally, I've come to terms with the fact that like addiction's never gonna be null and void. Right? Like there's always going to be somebody suffering. And so my
definitely
goal
job
is,
security. We definitely all have jobs. AI is not going to take, because the human component.
Exactly.
You have to have it. Yeah.
Exactly. So my job, like I said, is to just go out and create these new relationships and of course let them know what Legacy Healing Center has to offer. Yeah. Right. So I'll kind of start with our locations. Like you said, we are in California. We have multiple detox and residential facilities out there. We also have a detox and residential facility in Wareham, Massachusetts. Additionally, in Cherry Hill and Parsippany, New Jersey, we have outpatient facilities with supportive housing. And in Cincinnati, Ohio, we have outpatient with supportive housing.
Wow.
The nice thing about Ohio is we can do primary mental health treatment as well as primary substance abuse treatment, but it genuinely is all separated, separate floors, separate programming, separate everything.
Yeah. It's all individualized, all separate.
Exactly.
The way you got to get it all set with the state, it's got to be all individualized.
Exactly.
So this way, and that's the beautiful thing of it. And that's what we want to grow into, man.
Sure.
You know, having all the different levels of care, you know, because at 30 days, Ron, I mean, Ron could speak about it all the time. At 30 days is our average length of stay at Desert. And we're like, it breaks our damn heart.
Yeah.
How much documentation do we pack in? Because that's the programming. We document every single thing that we do, and think about how many pieces of documentation. Because Ron's compliance. Ron, I just want to shout out Ron. We're getting an award through Kipu, and the best EHR there is on the land. You guys have Kipu national brand. That makes me happy. I don't care what anyone says. It's more expensive than most because it's the best. And what it allows you to do, and I'll shout out Kipu too, but it allows you to tie medical necessity to every piece of documentation through the golden thread and the master treatment plan, and gives you the ability to show medically what you're treating daily, so everyone has an understanding what they're paying for. And Ron built a system inside of Kipu. We're going out there. We're taking the team. We're going to be out in California. The Innovator Award through Kipu or Desert Recovery Centers.
It's awesome.
It's just huge, man. I mean, what's that feel like, dude? What'd you think when we got that email?
Man, it was I was at a Christmas party when I got it, and it was just like, it was amazing because of all the hard work. And you know when your heart's in this, and for me, I really had to shift gears at Desert Recovery because I'm like Jason. I'm a client care guy. I'll do groups all day. I'll do case management. I'll reach out to guys like you and get our clients to where they have to go. I love that stuff. But since I've evolved in this company because Jason and the rest of the ownership of Desert Recovery have given me the ability to do that, I take a different role now. Now it's the stuff behind the scenes, right? It's the countless hours in the EHR and the phone calls and the systems and putting all into action. It just speaks to the testament of Desert Recovery Centers and the culture that has been there since the beginning, from day one of all you got to do is try. Right? Jason doesn't, one thing about Jason, he doesn't expect everyone to be Michael Jordan.
Right.
It's not reality, but he does expect everybody to try. And that's the culture in our company. We try for ourselves, we try for the clients, and we just continue to do that. So it's pretty awesome. But to speak to what you were talking about 30 days, we are mental health primary, right? In 30 days, we're just getting somebody, the goal is we're just getting them med stabilized in 30 days. We're getting their feet flat on the ground. We're starting to map out a path for them where they can grow and build off of what we've packed in, because we have an immense amount of clinical groups. We have, I was doing some KPIs yesterday. The amount of hours of clinical group we do on an average, we pack 8 hours of group into a day.
Wow.
Into a programming day, and 6 of those hours are all by professionals. So there's the outcomes. It speaks for themselves, right? When you have that type of care and you try, you're going to have some amazing outcomes. And in the short time we've been around, the 2 years, we've had some great outcomes. But yeah, we're just scratching the surface at 30 days.
It's different. It's different with that high acuity, And so, when we all got sober, it was like, okay, went to Crossroads, we went to wherever we went to our programs, and the outcome was to get sober, and leave sober, have a plan and all that. And that is, and again, it speaks to the individualized aspect.
Right.
But with the high acuity of mental health that we have, we have meetings weekly. We have to, because we have to have realistic goals with these clients, because it's not be sober at the end. Some of them have never tried drugs or alcohol.
Right.
It's med stabilized. It's not suicidal when they leave. It's the goals are different for everyone. And that's what I love about Legacy and Legacy Healing Centers and the things that you guys do. So if someone calls you and they're in Arizona, right, and they want to get a change of scenery, because I can't, it talks about changes of environment, you take your disease. Yeah, but the change of environment to a treatment center is huge. I've looked at the data, because we're all about data. The clients that we bring from out of state, the AMA, they don't got nowhere to go.
Right, exactly.
So they stay long enough for the miracle to happen.
Yeah.
So if someone's to call you for Legacy, just speak on that whole process, how the flight works. We get them out there, they get them settled, get them into residential. You got supportive housing. Just speak on that and shoot the number out and how they can find you, and maybe the website if they're interested right now and they're feeling it and we touched you already.
Yeah. So the website, thankfully, is simple. LegacyHealing.com. It has all of our locations on there. It's got pictures of everything, so you kind of have an idea of what to expect. As far as the admission process itself, I personally am super impressed by it, right? It's it can be, I should say, very quick, very
streamlined,
seamless. of course, like we can only do so much on our end, right? So as long as somebody is willing, as long as somebody is desperately searching for a way out,
Help,
right? Yeah, like we can make things happen quick, right? We verify insurance, we get on the phone with them, we do an assessment, we send that off for approval. If for whatever reason it gets denied, then we ask some follow-up questions. We try to push it through within reason, of course, right? Our goal isn't to treat anyone that we're not confident in being able to
100%.
treat, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we can have them in our facility that same day within a few hours. But again, you know, there's people like me, right?
Who are difficult.
Probably delayed
all
my
of us.
flight. Yeah,
Yeah.
canceled my flight 4 times and you know, had to make sure my dogs were taken care of and repack my bag 14 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are people like me,
Yeah.
but then there are people that are just so desperate that they're like, you know
Where,
what, fuck it,
when.
I'm gonna pack a bag. I'll be at the airport in 2 hours, and I'll be there
And
tonight.
let's go.
Yeah.
And you
I got
guys,
some affairs to take care of, and then I'll do it.
Yeah, exactly.
you know how many times I heard
I gotta buy dog
Ron-
food. Yeah,
Ron took a couple trips to Ohio,
Yeah.
not for
Yeah.
treatment, dude.
Yeah.
Go undercover work.
yeah.
Telemarketing from a apartment in Ohio,
From
dude.
an
On the
undisclosed
run.
location.
Shows up in my house with a duffel bag, dude. You should have seen the look of my
Yeah.
wife. Shout out my wife of 15 years. Shows up one night at midnight with a duffel bag when we think we're hiding him out in Ohio. He's like, I'm back. I'm like, okay.
Hi, Jay.
He's like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to stay on the balcony for a week. Stayed on, remember? I don't want to upset Ash. Can I just stay on the balcony?
I just
It
be on
just
the
went
balcony.
right
Yeah.
out there and
Yeah.
wouldn't move. Remember?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. But yeah, man, we try to
Yeah.
make it as simple as possible, right? Because we
Yeah.
do understand that there is a short window of time that somebody will stay willing. you
Yeah.
know?
And to get him out there, man, the change of scenery, especially to the East Coast, maybe even if it's just California or it's Ohio or Massachusetts, but just getting him out there, man, getting a different voice, getting him in a different location, a different setting where they have the ability to feel spirituality.
Right.
Because that's what recovery is. Recovery is spirituality.
Right.
You know, and that's what I love about this industry, man, and especially the, you know, all of us, right? Is our hearts in it, and we've been through this, and we understand exactly how they feel. Because every journey starts somewhere, and you got a path too, man, that brought you here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And going through it with you, and I know we got a very similar path. Dude.
Yeah.
He likes
Yeah.
he likes to
Real
take
quick,
shit.
Don't mind me. I'm working.
Yeah, Please get that done,
Both
brother.
houses are
Yeah.
texting me right now.
Yeah, please get that done.
No, you're fine, man. You're good.
You get it, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, yeah, brother.
I do, man.
Oh,
I get
Jesus.
it.
You know, and so you were born in San Clemente. Did you surf? I mean, we talking surfing?
No, I was young, so I didn't really get into that. I did like the boogie boarding thing, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
grew
agree.
up about a mile from the beach.
Yeah, oh
Very
yeah,
nice.
dude. So what was that like? What was the family dynamic like? I know your parents got divorced, but just kind of what it was like growing up. You know, you were out there for 9 years. Probably don't remember much of that. Then you bounced around. So can you just kind of share what
Sure.
that whole time period was like?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's funny because every time I speak, I always let the room know, right? Like, if you would have been an outsider looking at my childhood, you would have never expected me to grow up the way I did. And what I mean by that is like both of my parents, they loved me with all of their heart, right? They did everything they could to support me and make sure I was happy, right? So yeah, I grew up in Southern California. My dad was working construction at the time. So he moved the family out here for better opportunity. About 2-ish years in, the relationship between him and my mom fell apart, right? And so he moved back to Southern California. And I always, you know, I try not to blame certain parts of my life on what ended up happening, but I do always attribute certain things to the fact that, like, when that divorce happened is when I started to lie and to manipulate. So every time I introduce myself, I don't just say, my name's Alex, I'm an alcoholic, I'm a drug addict. I always say, like, hey, my name's Alex, alcoholic, drug addict. On top of that, like, I'm a liar.
Lie,
I'm a
cheat,
cheater,
manipulate, steal.
I'm a
That's the
thief.
main.
You know what I
those
mean?
are my. So that's what we're talking about,
Yeah.
dude. I relate to your
Yeah.
shit a lot, bro.
Yeah.
Right, because my parents, dude, they did there's mathematically,
Right.
even prison math, it shouldn't have happened
Right.
with me, dude.
Right.
I had every
Right.
opportunity in life to be successful.
Yeah.
They're still married. They did, dude. There isn't anything they didn't
Yeah.
do and
Yeah.
bail me out of
Yeah.
and try.
Yeah.
And we were talking before. We both have fucking house keys.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Huh? We got house
crazy,
keys,
man.
Ron.
Yeah.
You know, and it just makes me so happy just to do anything for them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so you know, I could relate to your
Yeah.
story a lot, but it's the alcoholic mentality. We've never had
Exactly.
a heroin problem, dude. Right? It
Right.
was the lie, cheat, manipulate,
Right.
steal, and it started. I made fake report cards in
Yeah.
high school.
Oh, yeah.
I called the phone company, blocked
Yeah.
the phone number. I stole everything my
Yeah.
parents ever fucking had,
Yeah.
bro.
I called the school, acting like my stepdad so I could ditch, calling out sick. You know what I mean? Like,
I
man,
understand,
I did
bro.
it
So
all.
I understand,
Yeah.
dude. So talk about that. Just talk about that time period because
Yeah.
you kind of bounce back and forth.
Yeah.
And now mom's over here and dad's over here, and they probably, I assume, both feel bad about what's happened
Of
in
course,
the kids,
of
and so
course.
now you got a little play, right?
Of course, right. So now I have the upper hand. You know what I mean? So when mom wouldn't give me my way, rightfully so,
Yeah.
I'd call dad. Mom's a bitch. I hate
Yeah.
her. You know what I mean? And dad'd be like, "Oh, come here."
Okay, cool. I'm cool.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
So I did that for a little while, and at one point I ended up moving back to Southern California in Marietta to live with dad. And I was there my 8th grade year and my freshman year of high school. Did the whole like football thing. I really enjoyed riding dirt bikes. I'd do that every weekend. My
Yeah,
dad
dude.
supported
Do you still
that.
like dirt bikes? Do you
I
have-
love them, but I don't have one. I
Ron,
know.
have you ever rode a dirt bike?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So
no.
listen, I recently had the privilege to get a spot up in Munns Park.
You're
with
not
my
getting
dad.
a motorcycle,
Okay.
Jason.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'm fucking outdoorsman.
All right.
All right.
All
I'm
right.
gonna earn a belt buckle and a
Okay.
hat soon,
Yeah.
brother. Okay.
Don't forget the boots.
I'm gonna get it. You
Okay.
got to earn that shit.
Yeah,
I heard,
absolutely.
dude.
Do you even own a pair of boots?
No, I not yet, brother. I got to earn that shit. I got to figure my way of the land. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I got a Can-Am.
Okay.
I drove it a few times, not much.
Okay.
I don't know much. Okay. But now I'm thinking about dirt bikes.
Yeah,
Dude, because
you
what do you
should,
do
man.
up there? Right. But I'm old. I'm 43. I don't want to get
Yeah.
hurt, but I got a 14-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Okay.
Talk to me. Quads, dirt bikes. What are we doing next? What do you think? Do you fuck?
I'll always say dirt bikes.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Quads are probably safer to an extent, at least for a beginner, from a beginner's aspect, just because it's more balanced.
But are you good? Are you?
I wouldn't say I'm like anything special. It was
Yeah.
just a passion of mine.
Yeah,
You
okay,
know what I
nice.
mean? I was at the track every weekend with.
But were you guys
with-
all smoking weed at the track?
No,
just
I wasn't.
you
Yeah,
weren't,
because I was young.
Yeah, you were
you know,
young still, yeah.
I was still in 8th grade. But yeah, I smoked weed for the first time my freshman year in high school, and I'll never forget it, man. I instant panic. It was in football, and they hadn't drug tested me yet. So of course I convinced myself like, oh, let's drink pickle juice. It'll clear me out, and that sucked. I hate pickle juice. But man, I didn't learn a lesson, and it's funny because I would always like part of like the not even manipulator, but just like me being a rebel, right? I would see like half smoking cigarettes in my dad's ashtray, and I just wanted to be different than what I saw everyone else doing, which was obeying the rules, right? So I was like, I know I'm not supposed to smoke cigarettes. Let's smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
I know I'm not supposed to smoke weed. Let's smoke weed.
Yes,
Dude.
Yeah.
And so after a little while of dad finally catching on, what do I
Yeah.
do? I jump ship back to mom.
Yep.
You
Back
know?
to Arizona.
Yeah, so I came back to Arizona.
But this time is it Tempe when you come back?
Yeah,
Or, okay,
yeah,
So
so-
things have changed now, right?
Well, so I was living in Tempe in 8th grade, but not for long.
okay.
But when I came back, yeah, mom was settled in Tempe, moved in with mom, started going to McClintock High School my sophomore year. And that's when shit just kind of got really weird. You know what I mean? I don't know how else to explain it.
That's how
That just
I
shit got
explain it,
weird,
dude.
man.
Shit
Yeah.
get weird.
That's how I explain
Yeah,
it too, dude.
yeah.
Sometimes shit gets weird.
Very
dude.
weird.
Throw a teener in the
Yeah.
mix, dude. Shit can
Yeah.
get weird.
Yeah.
And listen, dude, I've sponsored, and so have you. I'm sure you have too, Alex. Hundreds of men we've all sponsored, sitting right here, probably. We're not the only weird ones.
No,
I know that.
And that's why I know I'm home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why this is my, this is my safe
dude.
place.
Yes, yes, dude. I get it. I
Yeah.
totally understand, man. But heroin comes into the mix, dude, and you
Yeah.
jump right to heroin, dude.
Yeah.
We kind of talked a little bit before the show, and it's like your progression. It happens rather fast, and it talks about in the big book. You don't have to necessarily do the amounts that others have done, or go to the extremes or lengths that we have done. There's no set amount you have to do.
Right.
But for me, it was always people pleasing and wanting to be liked. And I was a drug dealer that never made any money because I just wanted to be liked by everybody.
Yeah.
So if you were doing it, I was cool with it, and I had it, and I
Right.
gave it to you cheaper, so you would like me more.
Right.
Like me, ego,
Yep.
ego.
Yep.
Right. And
Yep.
so talk about that first time you used.
Yeah, man. It was an experience, I was at a house party. Of course, I had run away from home over summer break, and ignorance got the best of me. I heard there was some people smoking black in the bathroom. I thought it was a Black and Mild, but I wanted to see, right? And I'll never forget walking in and seeing a piece of tinfoil and just wondering, like, what is that? But like I'm here, I'm committed, you know.
Yeah, I'm here now.
I'm all
Yeah,
in.
you know. So you know, I'll never forget that first time I got so violently ill. But the feeling I had after throwing up and the feeling I got, and it was just incomparable
once
to
you
anything
settled
else. Yeah.
Did you throw up the first time you did heroin?
I threw up every time.
I was gonna
did it.
say,
Dude,
yeah,
I was about to say, I
yeah.
couldn't remember. I didn't want to just say it, but
Yeah.
when you
No.
said that, immediately
Yeah.
said, dude, I think every single time Ron.
every,
Yeah.
every,
He always
every
I
time.
look forward to it.
Every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That means it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
I-
that's the crazy part of it. Did you get
Every
sick? Did he die? Oh, he died off of it? I remember even the spice, just on the side note,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Someone freaks out, you're like, oh, the good shit
Yeah.
is here.
Yeah.
I want the man down. I want
Yeah.
the shit that makes you freak out.
Yeah.
And I used to freak out too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So man, dude.
I was a lightweight with the heroin.
I know you were.
Just little. I just
I
need
know
a
you
little.
were.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I always looked forward
And so
to it.
when you did it, was it, you know, because we start talking about cunning, baffling, and powerful, and the baffling features the utter inability to leave it alone,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how great the necessity or the wish. Because once that physical dependence comes,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it's by any means necessary, dude.
Right.
So how quick does the physical dependence come? That's what I want to know.
I would say it took probably a couple months.
Did
Just
you get to
because
connect that night, or
No, so
Did you just
I
start
met-
to hang
I-
out with those guys more, or how did it all come to be? Because you
So-
got to find the guy, right?
Yeah, so I unknowingly did that night, right? I didn't know that the people I was doing it with would end up being the ones that would help me
Have to
continue
connect.
to get it, right? But
Just fell right into it.
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Just
no,
fell
they got
right
me.
into
yeah,
dude.
so I started my junior year of school, and
there goes school.
yeah, school is fucked.
Yeah, school's done.
And then I started doing it a little more often, hanging out with those kids, you know, and like it was funny because half the thrill was like seeing the dudes pull up with a mouthful of balloons and then they'd spit all their drugs out of their mouth and give us,
You call dispatch. They send a different driver.
Yeah,
you don't know who it's
yeah.
gonna be, what car. They tell you a different
you know,
one.
the suspense of being told 20 minutes and waiting 2 hours, and you know, all of it just consumed me.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
it fully consumed me,
I
man.
hated
And
that part. Be thrown up in the parking lot, wanted to put
Yeah,
a bullet in my
yeah.
head, dope sick, waiting
Yeah.
for this fucking
Yeah.
dude to come.
but it didn't take long.
Yeah.
You know, and I will say, like, I've never been a good criminal. I remember the first time I ever got arrested, I was young, and I got arrested for possession. And like I instantly ratted myself out. I was wearing, I had it in my sock, and they're like, "We're gonna bring a drug dog." I was like, "It's in my sock,
Yeah,
dude.
it's
Take
right
it."
here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it, man, because my poor mom.
He's a good dude. He's got
Yeah,
a good heart.
yeah,
you got a
yeah,
good
yeah,
heart, dude.
yeah.
That's what I've always seen in you. I'm glad we had you on the show
Yeah,
today, Alex.
thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
because I can relate a lot to your
Yeah,
story, dude. Your mom must be so happy.
Dude,
Yeah.
ecstatic.
Yeah.
You know, but I'll never forget that first time. Like that was like I think the first time I ever felt like I really disappointed her.
Yeah.
Because they took me to Tempe jail as
the
a
blue
juvenile.
jail. The blue?
Yeah,
It's all blue in there.
And they
Pancakes.
took me as a juvenile, and they told my mom if she didn't come and pick me up from jail, she would be charged with like child neglect.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? So she's like, "What the fuck?" dude?"
Yeah. Are you
know?
kidding me now?
Because in
you-
her mind, she's like, "Fuck him, leave him in there."
Yeah. You did that. You just,
But she had to come pick me up from jail, and that's when all of the, you know, the in and out of juvie stuff started. I got enrolled into drug court as a juvenile, and that was court every Friday.
it's hard to do when you're getting high.
Yeah, very,
it's really
very
hard.
difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
Ron, you ever been on drug court?
Just one time. One
They don't give you
appearance.
strikes. Like they don't. I never got drug court.
No,
You catch too many cases, drug court's not available when
Yeah.
there's a whole fucking
Yeah.
rap.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So how drug court work when you're getting high? Were you trying to dodge? How many
For sure.
methods did you try to beat UAs? Because I've tried every one and it's never worked except a catheter.
Honestly, the only one I ever really tried was to just dodge the UA. You know what I mean? Like,
Just not take
I don't even have
I'm not
the
gonna be in
energy.
town. I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
work
yeah.
late. I'll do it. You catch it on a Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. Can I do it Monday?
or I would try to like dilute my system, but
Yeah.
man, the
I
number
got
of
you.
weekends I spent, because for a while it was like every UA you spend the weekend in juvie, and then at one point they're like, "Fuck this kid,"
And that's
we're
when
gonna leave him in
the
there.
guys that are fighting cases love the guys on drug court because you come in every weekend.
Yep.
Usually
Yeah.
you got
Yep.
the safe packed.
Well, and that was me. Like at one point during drug court,
You knew you were going to go in because you were loaded.
Yeah.
So you go in
And
with dope, get high the whole weekend, boxing.
well, and the funny part was it wasn't even it wasn't even dope, but I'll never forget it, man. So I had an ankle bracelet, and I would have to self-surrender every Thursday or Friday afternoon, and I'd get let out Monday morning. So in my ankle bracelet, I started to put like one Seroquel in the charging port because I knew they wouldn't take off my ankle bracelet until the morning after I surrendered, and I would just sleep like a fucking baby. I would take the Seroquel as soon as I got in and
the whole
got dressed
pot
up.
thinks you got something.
Yeah, and they have me sleeping in like the clear room because they knew I was just a weekend guy. I wasn't going to be there long.
They changed the system.
Yeah.
They changed it.
Yeah.
They were hit the game.
So yeah, I was in and out of juvie. I aged out of the system.
But then you get right on probation.
Yeah.
You know, because you got sticky fingers like me, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing, dude, is we hurt the people we love the most. We always say that, you know, all these different things, and it's true.
Yeah.
And the reason I hurt mom and my wife the most is because they loved me the most and cared about me the most and had me around the most.
Yep.
That's all.
Yeah.
If it was fucking grandma, if it was producer Matt, if it was Ryan, if it was your mom or your house, dude, it was. It was anybody's house. It was just more at mom and dad's because they were the only people who fucking gave a fuck more than anybody else. Shout out mom and dad.
Yeah.
You know, shout out mom and dad, bro. You know, and so what comes with that though is consequences. And being on drug court, and that's why I led with the baffling feature, the utter inability to leave it alone, no matter how great the necessity or the wish. Because for 5 years, 6 years, bro, you bounce in and out because you could not stop doing heroin and stealing to support a habit, bro. And then you caught a case at 19, went right to prison, dude. Were you a solid wood or what?
I mean, yeah. It was funny because I ended up in Tucson back when it was
Would you go to Marana or
no,
Santa
Whetstone?
Whetstone.
But back in
Whetstone?
2011, it was just a
warehouse.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It was. I heard it's a medical yard now. I'm not sure.
Which one? A, B, C, or D?
It's not Whetstone anymore.
It's not.
Something else.
Were you in A, B, C, or D?
I think I was in C.
You're in the backside.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I was in B.
So I started at
Wasn't fun
Whetstone, and then I went to what was that other small yard? Catalina.
Yeah.
I got a bus driver job, so they moved me over to Catalina so I could just
You were
drive.
driving visitation?
Yeah.
You probably drove my wife to see me in Santa Rita, brother.
And I was young at the time, so obviously, I couldn't do hard drugs. There's very strict rules about that. But I would just, drive my bus, smoke spice, and you know what I mean? Do my thing, man. Because I still even though I knew I was in there and I knew I was in trouble, I still hadn't really learned much. You know what I mean?
Wasn't long enough, dude. A year and a half piece is nothing.
No,
you forget
not at
that.
all.
You forget that. I forgot my first prison sentence, dude, so fast. Even this 8 years, bro. We've been out coming up on 5 years, bro. It's a miracle, everything that we've accomplished, dude. I sat down. I was doing some new goals for the new year. I was sitting down with my wife, some SMART goals, and really... Because goals you don't achieve are called good ideas, and I had good ideas for a long time.
Yeah.
In my first prison sentence, I was a solid wood, did push-ups, and had good ideas.
Yeah.
But we're coming up on 5 years, bro.
It's coming up.
How's that feel?
It's the longest I've ever been out of prison.
Yeah.
And sober, coming up 12 years, dude. I'm coming up on 8 years.
Come on, let's go.
That's tight.
5 years, oh man, dude. And so you get out of prison, and then what happens, during that time period?
Yeah, so I get out of prison, man, and I learned that I can try to beat the system, right? I learned that if I get a medical marijuana card, probation's not going to do shit.
Yeah.
So I start doing that, and as the old tale tells, it just it wasn't enough. Yeah. I found myself in an opportunity where somebody needed pain pills, and I happen to know a guy that knew a guy.
Yeah.
I
got a guy.
It never
I know
fails.
guys like me. I'm cool. I know somebody.
Yeah.
I got you.
So I was getting pills for someone, and then one day I was like, fuck it, I can take one. I haven't done heroin in a few years, I've just been smoking weed. I can take one oxy. Why not? And man, it was off to the races. Took one, next time took a couple, and then I would keep 5 out of the 50 and just kind of, do them sporadically.
Yeah. And that's the cunning part of it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing, is it'll let you get away with it, and especially in the beginning, because you got means, right? You got assets, right? And a lot of times it'll let you do that, dude, because you're not fully immersed in it yet. Right? Maybe you only see the connect on Fridays, or you only see those people, or that person only calls you one time a week to pick up, and now you're dibble dabbling, dude. But at some point, Ron, you've had that experience too, dude.
When we had our telemarketing business, if I didn't have to commit crime to do my drugs, the longevity is just, it's off the chart.
Yeah.
I have money.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have money. I don't have to commit crime.
Right.
And, for me, I always have to position myself in such a way to where, I do massive amounts.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I like to get like massive amounts at one time.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks I'm a drug dealer, but I'm not.
No.
That's what I do.
Yeah. It's like going to Costco.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got busted in this last case. I had 9.7 pounds of meth in the waterbed bladders of my bed, and that wasn't for sale.
Yeah.
I had hustled all that. That was mine. I wasn't going to buy meth for a while.
Right. Right.
I had
Right.
other shit. We have businesses to build.
Yeah.
I had shit to do.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep.
Yeah. I hear you.
But yeah, for sure. If and that's the cunning, and then the
mental
cunning
obsession
feature
part,
of it,
yeah.
right? Well, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got a car.
Yeah.
Got a business.
Yep.
I'm making some money. I have money. I'm not committing crime.
Right.
Maybe I was just doing the wrong drug, right? That's
Yeah.
And so how quick? So all of a sudden now you go from out on probation. Did you get out probation?
I did.
So you got out probation.
Yeah.
Now you got no oversight, dude.
Yep.
And then that's when shit starts to really turn,
Yeah.
right? So now you don't have to fucking
Don't
have the
answer to
eyes in the
anybody.
sky.
Yeah.
Right. So now the physical dependence starts to kick in. But you get back to heroin, dude, because the pills become too expensive, too hard to get, or how's that work?
I think it was just they were too expensive.
Combo.
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And for the price of one pill, I could get something that would last twice as long,
Yeah.
3 times as long.
It's financial no brainer.
Yeah.
And so here we are, and then we're back into it, dude. And then the lies and the manipulation,
Oh, yeah.
and then everybody thinks you're doing
Yeah.
good.
No.
But you do get the gift of pain and desperation long enough to get a year together.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
was it 2017? You pick up a year.
Yeah.
You get into the big book. What happens during that? You go to Carla Vista.
Yeah.
How's that work?
So in 2017, again, bless my mother's heart, she knew something
shout
was
out.
up, and
Yeah.
she found a literal shoebox full of dirty syringes.
oof.
And like it's funny, it's funny now because I like to take credit for the fact that I was at least responsible enough to not throw my dirty syringes onto the street or in the trash can
Yeah.
for someone else to get poked.
Yeah, I was responsible, mom.
yeah. So they were all in a shoebox under my bed. She found that and she was rightfully so pissed.
Yeah.
So she sent me to Florida. I went to rehab. It did not work out for me there, but I came back shortly after I got into Carla Vista. They had a program back then. It was like a intensive outpatient through Tempe Valley Hope. I lived in their sober living, and yeah, man, I strung together a little over a year, but I did it all the wrong way. Without getting too graphic, like I convinced myself I was Mr. AA, right? Because I would take all the guys to detox when they would call.
Yeah.
Which like they tell you to do, right?
Yeah,
but
right.
like within reason. I was like hanging out with all of the girls I shouldn't hang out with. I was, just doing all the things that I thought AA was supposed to provide me with, but at the end of the
just
night,
fellowshipping.
right?
That's
right.
it, dude. That's
like
what
I'm
supposed
managing
to
one of
do.
their houses, and I'm
Yeah,
like
doing it all for everybody else.
Yeah. But one thing that I didn't notice until after the fact was when I went to sleep at night, my conscience was never clear.
Ooh. That's the goal.
And I
dude.
wasn't
That's
even
the-
really
I love
doing
that.
anything like I wasn't getting high, but I still wasn't okay with myself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I relapsed shortly after I celebrated my birthday. I think it was like a month later. Mom and I did a photo shoot together, took birthday
look how
pictures,
happy
and
I
then,
am that I'm doing, mom.
and then a month later, I'm just out fucking shit
Yeah.
up, and
Guilt, shame, embarrassment, remorse, regret.
that was probably the worst run, just because, like you said, there was so much guilt, there's so much shame, there's so much disappointment from my mom. You know what I
again,
mean?
here
My
we
mom's
are.
always been my number one supporter, man. But I gave her no reason to support me, but she still always hung on.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I did that up until 2020,
And
that's when shit got really weird, and that's thankfully that's when things.
And that's when
took
you got
a turn.
sober, dude.
Yeah,
And that's your sobriety, dude.
Yeah.
In September 28th,
yeah,
2020.
Mm-hmm.
Let's run, dude.
Yeah.
Let's roll, dude.
Yeah.
But you're like all of us because you're extreme, dude. You're the real deal. So we got to be locked in a hole in fucking locked in jail inside a jail. That's how we get sober. Or a sentence you can't even figure out how old you're going to be when you get out. But for you, it's a heart attack.
So it wasn't.
So well, just tell us about it. Maybe I'm getting jumping the gun here, dude.
Yeah.
So put us on game.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's thankfully, not thankfully, it wasn't a heart attack. However, I was an avid IV drug user, and I ended up with, it's called endocarditis.
Yep.
And
Exactly
it is a disease,
I know
right?
exactly what it is.
And essentially what had happened was my bloodstream was so infected that, so we have main valves in our heart, right? My tricuspid valve in my heart had completely deteriorated from the infection traveling through my bloodstream. So I remember vaguely, it was funny. I went into the hospital once, found out I had pneumonia, but I was like, I need to get high. I need to go.
Yeah.
So I bounced, right? Went back to the hospital, found out I had bilateral pneumonia, so in both lungs now. But I needed to get high, dude. I did not have the time to be sitting in a hospital because I needed to get high. And the third time, I'll never forget it. Like, my mom knew I was so sick that she was willing at this point to let me stay at her house because I was homeless for a while. She let me stay at her house. She ordered me a mobile IV service because I was getting to the point I couldn't really stand up on my own. I couldn't walk long distances. I was getting very dizzy.
Dude.
I was literally dying.
I've seen people in prison die from that, from sharing needles in prison. Watched them die. Dude, it's infected bloodstream. It's horrid.
Yeah. So she called a mobile IV service, and I told her, like, you gotta call an ambulance. Yeah. So she called an ambulance. I went to the hospital, and like the crazy part, man, is like I knew I was so sick, but I still needed to get high.
I know.
And I called someone, and they brought me pills to the hospital. And I remember vaguely at one point waking up and seeing that I was in the process of getting a blood transfusion, but didn't understand why. But I knew I was upset about it because I didn't want somebody else's blood being pumped into me, right? Because I was just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No good reason. I just couldn't appreciate what they were doing for me. And then friend brings me drugs, and I'm so physically ill that I'm unable to even perform the act of getting high, right? And then everything goes blank. Everything just goes blank. And I'll never forget, I always talk about this when I share. I woke up, and my mom was sitting next to me in a hospital bed. My hands are restrained. And she says, hey, like, don't freak out. You just had open heart surgery. I was like, fuck are you talking about, dude? No, I didn't. You know what I mean? And sure enough, man, like, I've got wires coming out of me, tubes and shit. I'm restrained to the bed because I'm trying to rip everything off. They've got me on heavy oxygen because I'm just not doing it on my own. And she said, you had open heart surgery. They had to replace one of your valves. You were unconscious. The doctor called me and basically said, hey, like, if this is what's going on, if we don't do the surgery today, your son is going to die, you know? And so at that point, man, my mom had to make the hardest decision the hardest yet easiest decision she's ever made. Of course she's going to exhaust any and all options to keep me alive, her baby boy, her only child, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, my mom, for probably at least a year, if not longer, had been planning my funeral, had been waiting for the phone call from the police saying they found me behind the dumpster at Quick Trip, you know? So I know there was a lot of relief, but a lot of
panic, fear,
disappointment, anger.
So
you know what I mean?
Oh my God, yeah, because we hurt them.
Right,
I mean, it's just, it's so many negative emotions all in one.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same thing. You're locked up. They know you're safe. They think you're safer. You're in a hospital. You're safe.
Yeah.
You know, and you're you know, it's. I feel it.
Yeah.
Dude. I totally, dude, get it. Bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So
a lot of similarities, dude.
It was gnarly, man. But the surgery went as well as it could. You know, we were 6 months into COVID, so shit was just really weird.
Yeah.
At the
Imagine
time.
that, dude. Could you imagine you got to have open heart surgery? Good thing you were unconscious, bro.
Yeah.
Good thing you were thinking more about the pills.
Yeah.
Because you got this. We're watching it from prison going, what is going on in the world, dude? The world is shut down, dude.
Yeah.
And you're having surgery. Everybody's there. I imagine there's probably like 8 people in surgery, dude. right? Then you got
Yeah.
the recovery time. How long were you in the hospital for?
So I was in a hospital for about a month, and
Were
then
they wearing
transferred me.
full freaking
Yeah,
bodysuits and shit? Like fucking.
So they were gonna transfer me to a skilled nursing facility because, of course, they weren't gonna. I had a PICC line in. They were not gonna send me home with a PICC line.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they transferred me to a nursing facility.
Send you to desert,
And,
dude. We deal with that all the time.
So they tested me before transferring me, and I fucking tested positive for COVID. And I'll never forget thinking to myself, this surgery didn't kill me, but fucking COVID is going to kill me.
Yeah,
Scary.
dude.
And I didn't have any symptoms, but their stupid little nose swabs said I was positive.
Yeah.
So then they had to move me to a different floor, completely separate me and isolate me. And then, yeah, I've got these fucking doctors and nurses coming in looking like astronauts with these giant suits.
No
and these,
mom, no nobody.
Nobody, no.
Yeah,
Scared.
dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
Scared,
that's-
tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Tripping.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
it
were
was
tripping.
terrifying.
I was tripping in prison.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I remember. So I
We
remember
were the first pod that got it.
Yeah, and we hadn't had it at the yard that I was on, right? Nobody had got it. Everything was open. Everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, dude, it happened.
Yeah.
And I watched, and we all got sick symptoms, dude. I watched it just flood
Yeah.
through the whole fuck. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Yeah.
Everyone got sick.
Yeah.
You know, I had it a couple times. And then the way that it worked, because we were getting released, we got released in 2021, right? And so for us, if you always test positive for it. So if you test positive for it, they put you in the hole.
Right.
So so the last 2 weeks I was in the hole.
So this is the thing. I was a flat timer. So I got missed. There was a bunch of people. There was people who were getting out the same time as me, and they came by and checked all them, and they tested positive, and they put them in the hole.
Yeah.
And they skipped me because it didn't register with a TR or anything. So I didn't,
Yeah.
So I was good.
Loophole.
Yeah, so I was good.
Yeah. And so you get open heart surgery and you wake up and now you got decisions to make, dude.
Yeah.
Right. And so do you go right to treatment? How's it work? What do you,
So-
because it's virtual now.
Yeah,
And that's the
everything-
thing that I love
everything
about
is
your
virtual.
story. That's what I love about his story.
Yeah.
Right. Because now he does these things virtually. And I've tried to take college classes virtually. Have you ever tried to take a virtual college
I
class?
have.
Did you finish it?
No, they're hard.
You want to talk about discipline,
Yeah,
dude?
yeah.
Now, not only the discipline, dude, he's got to do recovery, dude, is hard,
Yeah.
right? So now you got to do recovery virtual. So he does recovery virtual. He does his, he goes back to school, becomes an MA, does that virtually. He's hit 12-step meetings virtually, and you're plugged in with Taros.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so talk a little bit about, because it worked, bro.
Yeah.
Because he did his part.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter, dude.
tried.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking
I
try, dude.
Yeah.
Take responsibility for your life and try.
Yeah.
Try.
Do as many positive things every day.
Try.
Yeah, so I got out of the nursing facility, man, and I just knew something had to be different. I knew that getting sober was possible from previous experience. I knew that staying sober was also possible because I'd seen so many people come in before me and do it. And I wanted to make the most of my time. So, yeah, I got enrolled into Taros. It was all virtual. I got enrolled into school. I did that in the mornings. I'd do IOP at night, In the weekends, I would just sit at home. I would just keep my ass planted at home. I remember I would get on Birds of a Feather at the Coop.
At the Coop. Shout out to the Coop, dude. Yeah, I
I
love
would sign on to that
Yeah,
through
the
Zoom.
candlelight
And
meetings,
I
too.
was so tripped out because I'm just like, what the fuck's happening? What is this world coming to? But man, I needed anything I could get at that point. And thankfully, the world started opening up shortly after.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was in Taros for probably 6 months. I started in IOP, and then, I
did all the things,
Yeah,
dude.
dude,
Yeah, you
I
did
did
the things.
everything they told me to do. I
Yeah.
didn't bat an eye.
Yeah.
I was doing 3 days a week, then 2,
Got a
then 1.
sponsor,
and then-
started
yeah.
working the
Yeah.
steps. What was that experience like?
It was cool, man. I'll the first time I ever did the steps in 2017, it was such an experience that I'll never forget. So it's always made me excited about doing them again.
Oh, shout out to that sponsor.
yeah.
Man. Shout out to the fellowship that you were with, dude.
Yeah, he is still around, great guy.
Yeah.
But just the experience I had, I was like, I want to have more experiences like that.
You felt it. You
Yeah,
felt it before,
yeah,
dude. So you knew
100%.
the juice. You
Right.
knew it was possible,
Right.
dude. And you've seen it. You felt it. That's
Right.
So, all right. Okay.
So what I did know is the past 2 years, I really just, I was combative. I was in disagreement with everything. So I promised myself, like, I'm just going to go full force into this, man.
I'm going all in, baby.
Yeah.
I got everything
You
to
know
gain
what
and
I mean?
nothing to lose. That's what we did.
And, you know, we hit the ground running, man. You know, I did a gnarly 4th step. Like, I took a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
I really made sure to put pen to paper, you know, and I wasn't rushed, but I didn't sit on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to have an experience, and so that's what I
yeah.
set out to do.
Yeah.
And it was cool, man. And I was able to quickly start working with other men in the program and start sharing my experience with them. And
That's where it changes, dude.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And I started, you know, I will say I started working in treatment, but I made the mistake in the past in 2017 of working in treatment and telling myself, like, I don't need to sponsor people. I'm working in treatment.
Yeah.
I get a paycheck to do it.
Yeah.
And like, that was one of the big areas I fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I wholeheartedly believe that sponsoring a man on your own time, at your own will, because they have asked you to, and because you know that's how you're going to keep what you have, is so much different than earning a paycheck and giving somebody advice or
It
telling them what
fucks
to
up
do.
so many people.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, it's the biggest
100%.
mistake that people
Yeah.
make working in behavioral health.
Yeah.
There's no more power, right? You want to talk about tapping into a power than working all day and having a day,
Right.
right? Having a day.
Right.
But you already have a set that you're going to meet the new guy at 7:00 at the coffee shop
Yeah.
next to the pigeon coop, and spend a half an hour with him before you go do the 7:30,
Yep.
and actually getting your ass in the car, driving out there,
Yep.
buying this young man a cup of coffee,
Yep.
telling some lies, listening to his lies, and then going to a meeting,
Yep.
and then walking out of there. There is no other feeling
Nothing.
than that. And it took
That's
me
the juice. That's the secret sauce, bro.
it took years for that to, 3 years of being out of prison to realize what a gift that is.
Yeah. It's funny because every single time I'm in that position, I'll be honest, like, leading up to it, it's
Never
like,
want to do it.
yeah,
dude.
man. I'm like, do I fucking have
so
to? Like,
busy, dude.
trying to
but
find
yes.
reasons to reschedule or whatever the case is, man. But
You feel so.
every single time I have gotten in my car afterwards and just thought, like, I'm fucking happy I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, without fail.
And even if it's not like another dude I'm working with, but it's just somebody that
Being a
needs
part of it.
help, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, there's no
Somebody
greater
that needs
feeling.
someone to talk to. It's like, or go to dinner with, or whatever the case is. It's like, I'm always glad I did it.
Yeah, and that's
know?
the secret sauce, and that is what makes the successful companies the ones, dude.
Yeah.
It's the scholarships, earmuffs, Ty. It's the scholarships, right, dude? It's the driving to Crossroads and doing that big book study every Saturday night.
I sorry to interrupt you, but I got to remind you of this. It's the end of the year, so they're doing all the numbers.
I know.
So you're probably going to hear something.
Yeah, it's okay because that's our heart, man.
Yeah.
And that's the secret sauce, dude.
Yeah.
It's doing those things, dude,
Sure.
and without anything in return.
Nah.
Right.
Just going to be a part of. We still sponsor men, and we're so busy, dude, but we do our damnedest to be there, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we know our limits now because I've had to make amends to sponsees because I'm so busy, but
Yeah.
I want to help them so
Of
bad,
course,
dude.
of course, yeah.
Because I know. I've got an army, and like today I had the opportunity to tell someone, hey, I would love to, but I'm too busy, but I got a guy that can help you. And they were able to connect and they vibe together, dude. So it's a connection thing,
Yeah.
man. And I just love that piece of it.
Yeah.
But you ended up getting certified as a medical assistant, as an
did.
MA. Shout out to that,
Yeah.
respect and discipline to complete that.
Yeah.
And you had those disciplines through COVID. And then the world starts to open up. So now you got some decisions and
Yeah.
you start to work as an MA and you start to work in the field a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about as we start to wrap up here, because the success, bro, because we don't talk about it enough. And I'm here to shout it out as much as I possibly can. The disease of addiction is progressive. It gets progressively worse. We all know that. We have to know that. But recovery is also progressive, dude. It gets so much better every day you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
So,
it's unbelievable, dude.
yeah.
So I want to talk about the progression professionally, dude,
Sure.
because now you work for one of the big dogs.
Yeah.
We're talking about a big brand. They've been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Legacy Healing Centers, dude. Multiple states. It's hard to do that.
Yeah.
And to do that, you got to do it the right way, and you guys do. And I'm super grateful to hear
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But you don't become the BD rep for Legacy.
Right.
you know,
Right.
without doing some things first, right?
Right.
So why don't you talk about
Yeah.
your professional succession and kind of
Sure.
what that's looked like? Because you had to make a decision.
Yeah.
Am I going to be an MA and
100%.
go professionally into this field, or am I going to follow my heart, my passion to help others?
Right. Right. Yeah. So, you know, a little side note, is part of the reason I went to MA school is because I was always that friend when I was getting high that could find anybody's veins. So with my MA certificate, it came with the certificate in phlebotomy because I was like, I'm going to learn how to do this professionally and get paid for it.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean?
He's like I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
And he's like the one person who's actually
Yeah,
got
no,
this.
and like
I think you've said that to me, Ron.
yeah. So when I finished school, I did my externship at a doctor's office that actually a lot of people are very familiar with in the community. His name's Dr. Lochnikar. He owns Medical X. It's a private practice. He does outpatient detox. He's also the medical director of Pinnacle Peak, Scottsdale, Providence.
Yeah. Okay. I know him.
He's
Okay.
been around for a long time.
I know exactly who he is.
And he actually was my doctor back in 2017. So I called his office when I was finishing school because I needed to do a month of externship, right? So I can graduate. But when you look like me and when you have felonies on your background like me, it becomes difficult to place you into a hospital or into a doctor's office to even do that, right? So I called them and I was like, hey, man, like, I just need to work for free for 4 or 5 weeks so I can graduate.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, come on.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
awesome.
And I
Respect.
did that, man. And you know, I left, I guess, such a lasting impression that they didn't even let me leave. They just hired me on full time.
Yeah. Yes, dude. That's
And
shout
man,
out
it
to
was
your
cool
heart, man,
because
and you.
you know, he's become like a father figure to me. His wife has become like a mother figure to me.
Yes.
But to be able to help people at that capacity was just life changing. You know what I mean? You got people that are coming in for outpatient detox. They'll be there all day detoxing in that office. And then you've got treatment center clients. So I was able to kind of see it.
Got the whole spectrum.
Yeah.
So you got to see it. The levels of
100%.
care. Yeah.
You know, and, you know, so I was there for a little over 2 years. I loved it with everything I have, but of course it's a small private practice. Right. Being a medical assistant, I couldn't really grow.
Maxed out. You were maxed out.
You know what I mean. Unless I became a nurse,
right.
like there wasn't much else I could do.
Different cert is what you mean. Yeah.
So Pinnacle.
Peak,
Pinnacle Peak Recovery. They reached out and they needed a medical assistant.
Shout out to them, dude. I love their social media. Shout out to your social media guy. You know, you guys do a great job. I love what you guys do. Respect to your presence. It's awesome, dude.
Yeah, Luke handles all of their TikTok,
dude,
Instagram
shout out to
stuff.
Him, bro.
Yeah,
he's great, dude.
Yeah. So Pinnacle asked me to join the team, and it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, there was absolutely no bad blood between the doctor's office. It was just more opportunity, right?
Sure.
So I jumped into the treatment center world, if you will, and I was a medical assistant with them for a little over a year, and then an opportunity opened on the business development team at Pinnacle Peak.
Here we go.
And
now I get to use my skills, my
yeah,
personal
you know,
skills.
that's the thing, man. I've always been a people person. Like I can walk into any room and make conversation with anybody, and like there's a very good chance when I leave, they're not going to talk shit behind my back. And if they do, like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I last some type of impression.
Yeah.
You know? And
Other way around.
yeah. Either way, I'm leaving an impression. Yeah.
I like that.
So I joined the team, man, and it was cool. You know what I mean? It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a social person. I like to go out and just talk to people and meet new people and you know, it's very easy for me to do what I do when it's something I believe in.
Yes,
you know, Pinnacle I believe in.
It's not a sale,
Legacy
dude.
I
It's
believe
a sale
in.
that
Exactly.
you know exactly. Yeah,
like I get to go and talk to someone about something I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
Not just like, hey.
Shoot, what can I get from you? How am I going to manipulate you? How am I going to get your watch?
Right. So I did that with Pinnacle for about 14, 16 months. I'd have to check my dates.
Yeah. That's...
And somebody from Legacy reached out, man, and you know, I never want to pass down an interview. I never want to pass down an opportunity to talk to someone and learn about something new.
Sure. I love that.
And like I said, I had been kind of working with Legacy while at Pinnacle, so I was already familiar with their program. I was familiar with, like, you know, the services they offer, the aesthetics portion of it, the client care that they provide, all of it, right? So I was already intrigued. And
it's a high level. They do it at a
very high
nice,
level,
high
but they
dude.
do it in a very efficient level too, you know, like all the way down to the alumni people, right? Like they are calling the alumni very often, checking in. Hey, do you need resources? Do you need this? Do you need that? What can
I
we
love
do
how
for
we
you?
went right to that.
You know,
You notice that?
it's probably the most important part
Yeah.
because it's people leave and then what?
Yeah, I know, dude. We want to
You
get
know,
another level of care
like
so bad.
we've got a couple people that are on the phones all day calling alumni, and if they don't answer, they call them back.
Yeah, that's great.
You
man.
know,
Yeah.
and like I said, whether it's like you need treatment again, you need help finding a meeting, you need help finding this, finding that, you just want to have a fucking conversation with someone. Like our goal is to continue to follow up with you and to check in on you
Yeah.
and see how you're doing,
Yeah.
especially during the holidays, right? Holidays are hard for people.
And it could be that's what we've
Yeah.
had. We've had of our guys, you know, and so now making this pivot to legacy full time and being their guy. And what I loved, you know, speaking with you about, because, you know, we have a team of 3, you know, at Desert, you know, and they all have their own relationships, right? They got this one, these are this one. We're trying to figure out who. That's don't step on my toes,
Yeah.
right? And all this stuff,
Yeah.
right? But now what I love the most about the opportunity that you get to have all the relationships.
Right, right.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
dude.
No, it's exciting.
You can be everybody's
Yeah.
friend,
Yeah.
not make it weird,
Right.
not step on anyone's toes,
Right.
just be you, offer a badass program that's
Right.
in 4 different states, that has
Right.
multiple levels of care, that gives you aesthetics, shit, they're nice.
Yeah.
Gives you they're really nice.
Yeah.
Gives you the ability to change of environment into a sanctuary, a safe place, a refuge, and to recover, dude.
Exactly.
And when you start to feel frisky like I've always done, you want to bounce to, where are you going to go?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And make sure you don't have any money when you get there.
Yep. Yep.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we're going to make everyone hold a boundary, dude. And the
Yeah.
success rate that you guys have had, dude.
Yeah.
And it's a miracle, dude. Just the transition, just the growth, the disciplines, the certifications, the things that you've been able to complete in the last 5 years. And I tell everyone, the sum of your actions today is a representation of who you are.
100%.
And every single day, if you show up for yourself, all those things happen, because what we've learned through the 12-step program, dude, is that the way we utilize our higher power on a day-to-day basis through a 50-50 relationship, right? And my 50% is the action steps each day. Help as many people as
Yeah.
I can, dude.
Yeah. Easy as that.
And if I do something shitty, own it and
Yeah.
correct it and amend it immediately, and
Right.
don't carry it to bed with me.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then if I do that, God's part is the outcomes in
Yeah.
my life,
Yeah.
dude. And not my outcomes, his outcomes.
It's funny you say that, not to cut you off, but
No, not at all.
you know, for me, it's very important to immediately own my shit, right? Like I'm sure you guys are familiar with Monument Recovery. They're here in Mesa. They're one of their business development reps, Cassie. She's a very, very, very close friend of mine.
Man, shout out.
And it's funny because oftentimes, like, I'll fucking chew her out. You know what I mean? For whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I find myself so often like being like, "What the fuck, dude?" Blah blah blah. And then I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'm sorry."
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
know
gotta
what I
clean that
mean?
up.
She's
Yeah, I
like, you
cannot
know,
hold
but
that. That was
but man, like that makes a difference of how I feel when I go to sleep.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And like, I'll be damned if I go to sleep feeling like a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. I've done that too much.
Yeah.
It's a series of rituals, disciplines, and moments
Yeah.
each day.
Yeah.
I've designed my life around winning, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take some L's, but I'm gonna
course.
win more moments than I'm gonna
Right.
fucking lose
Right.
every single day.
Right.
And when I hang my head, dude, and that's what it's all about. Dude, we win. We're winning again,
Exactly.
dude. And if
Exactly.
you want to win again, you want to come to Legacy or Desert Recovery Centers, we want to get you there.
Yeah.
So if you want to go, man, it's just been a pleasure having you on the
Absolutely.
show, man.
Thank
But so we got Legacies in Ohio, it's in California, it's in Massachusetts, and it's in
Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yes.
Right. And we got multiple levels of care, detox, residential. We got outpatient. We
Yep.
can get you through the different levels of care. We're looking for guys in Arizona, men and women in Arizona. We want to help you. And the best part about you guys, I'm going to put you guys up on game. The Arizona Blue Cross Blue Shield that everybody's on, that is so hard for you to get help. Legacy can help you, dude. They're able to utilize that policy in a way to get you the care you deserve.
Sure.
I'm freaking telling you this, people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please reach out to
Yeah,
us.
please do.
We
Yeah.
want to help you get good care.
Yeah.
We
I mean,
want
at-
outcomes,
and,
man.
And at the end of the day, you know, like insurance aside, anything else
Doesn't matter.
aside, you know,
We wanna
we
help. Yeah.
call us.
Yeah.
Call Legacy, call DRC, call whoever, you
Yeah.
know, and let's get people help.
Yeah,
you know?
it doesn't matter. And I only bring that up
No,
to
for
say
sure.
because it's so hard for them to get help.
And
with
it is like people don't understand that sometimes like what they think is the most common and the most well accepted, like some states don't love that, Arizona being one of them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And options, good, valuable options can tend to be very limited because of that.
Yep.
You know, so if you're one of those people that has run into those situations, you know,
That's what we're here for,
Exactly.
dude.
Yeah.
Legacy has an amazing program. So if they want to get help right now, where can they find Legacy's? LegacyHealingCenters.com.
Yep.
Is there a phone number or just go straight to the website? Is that the best way to reach you guys?
Yeah, so Google Legacy Healing Center, go to legacyhealing.com. I don't know if you guys want to post my phone
Yeah,
number.
absolutely.
My phone's always open.
It'll be
Throw it
right
out
here.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be right here. You say it right now.
Yeah,
Throw it out.
so 480-516-8111. You're always welcome to call me directly.
And we'll blast it all. Matt,
Yeah,
my
please
producer,
do.
will get it all
Yeah.
blasted on there
Please do.
where they can find you guys. Get that change of scenery. Get that help that
Yeah.
you need, especially if you're here. But if you're in Massachusetts listening right now, or Jersey, or Ohio, or California, you're in their backyard.
Yeah.
Let's get you set up today.
Let's
But
do
no
it.
matter what, if you call Alex, just like the Desert Team, we will not stop until we find you help. We really don't
Yeah.
care what policy you
No,
have.
not at all.
We just want to help you,
Yes,
dude.
exactly.
And with that heart, that's why we're here today and why we'll be successful together,
Right.
because we just want to help.
100%.
And if you want to find Desert Recovery Centers, you can find us at, where is it? Desert. Go ahead. bro.
DesertRecoveryCenters.com, the amazing website.
It is pretty
Hey,
nice.
these guys did an awesome job with that
It
website.
is pretty nice. Shout out to them.
Instagram, Desert Recovery Centers. Jason and Sarah, you can hit us up. Facebook, Ronnie, no matter what, on TikTok. You know, according to Matt, I'm going to have some more clips for the TikTok. Everyone
Yeah,
loves
he says
those.
that. Yeah, he said that last time.
Yeah. No, he's got me this time.
Oh, he's got
He
you.
put it in the calendar.
Yeah, today.
Yeah.
Oh, today.
Reach out to us, though. You know, and Alex, it was great having you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I love your energy, bro,
I
and,
appreciate
and,
it.
and you get down and you're right. It doesn't matter. Just call. Just make
Yeah,
the call. It
yeah.
doesn't matter who you call. If you're suffering, if you're a family member that's suffering, or a friend, or someone close to you, or yourself, just reach out to us. And
Yep.
with all these amazing people that are in the business of finding help for you,
Right.
we'll get it done.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep. New episodes dropping every other week. Tune in. We appreciate everybody, and set some new goals for this year. New goals, new year, new you, new accomplishments. Goals you don't achieve are called good ideas.
Good ideas.
We're achieving goals this year. Shout out Alex. Shout
Thank
out
you, guys.
Legacy Healing Center. Thank you for being on the show.
course.
And I'm excited, man, because we have such a similar story. I could totally
Yeah.
understand what it must
Likewise.
feel like to support mom and give to her life
It's
today
cool,
and
dude.
everybody around you. So
Yeah.
respect to you, and new episodes dropping. Tune in to the next one.